Hallo, ich bin's, Robin, Deutschlehrer mit Core Languages, and today I'm back on campus of the beautiful college at Charleston, and I have a question for you. Can you see me? Well, you're watching this video, so I'm assuming you can. In this example, you are the subject of the sentence, and I am the direct object of your seeing. But what happens when you look into the mirror? In English, you would say, I see myself. This is an example of a reflexive verb. A reflexive verb is if the subject of the sentence and the direct object are the same. For example, I couldn't say, he sees yourself, because he and yourself doesn't work. But I could say, he sees himself, in which case the subject and the direct object would be the same. Well, in German, we're dealing with cases, so we have to be a bit careful. In today's video, I'm going to show you reflexive verbs where the subject is the same as the direct object, so that you can use them in your German sentences. I would say, los geht's und viel Spaß beim Deutschlernen.
Reflexive verbs in the accusative case. When the subject and the object in a sentence are the same, the verb is reflexive and the sentence requires a reflexive pronoun. In English, we would say myself or yourself. There are direct objects and indirect objects, and if the subject and the direct object are the same, then the reflexive pronoun in the sentence is in the accusative case. Remember that there are also accusative pronouns for when the direct object is not the same as the subject. These are mich, dich, sie, ihn, sie, es, uns, euch, sie, and sie. Now watch what happens to the pronoun when the direct object and the subject are the same. Ich stays mich, du stays dich, but sie becomes sich. Sie, es also becomes sich. Uns, euch, sich, and sich. One thing that helps us identify when to use the accusative case with a reflexive verb is when we are referring to the whole body or a person. One thing that is confusing about reflexive verbs in German is that the English translation isn't always reflexive. A reflexive verb in German isn't by default reflexive in English. In a sentence, we need a subject, then the reflexive verb and the reflexive pronoun, followed by the rest of the sentence. For example, zum Beispiel, ich ziehe mich an. Now this sentence could be, I'm getting dressed, but more specifically, I'm getting myself dressed. Ihr freut euch über das sonnige Wetter. You are happy about the sunny weather. Notice that the English translation is not reflexive. Sie rasiert sich. She shaves herself. To help clarify the difference between a direct object and a reflexive direct object, look at the following two sentences. This is an example where the direct object and the subject are not the same. For example, ich wasche meinen Hund. I wash my dog. And because der Hund is a masculine noun, I could also say, ich wasche ihn. I wash him. In this example, ich is the subject, and meinen Hund, or ihn, is the direct object. Here's an example of a reflexive direct object. Ich wasche mich. I wash myself. Ich is the subject, and I'm also the direct object, so I need to use the reflexive pronoun mich. The subject and the direct object are the same person. Here are some examples of common reflexive verbs that use the accusative case. Sich anziehen, to get dressed or to get oneself dressed. Sich beeilen, to hurry or to hurry up. Sich duschen, to shower or to shower oneself. Sich erinnern an, to remember. Sich freuen über, to be happy about something. Sich interessieren für, to be interested in something. Sich melden, to report or to volunteer. Sich rasieren, to shave or to shave oneself. Sich setzen or sich hinsetzen, to set or to sit down. Sich verspäten, to be late. In a sentence, the reflexive pronoun usually follows immediately after the reflexive verb. In a regular sentence, we would start with the subject, then the reflexive verb, followed by the accusative reflexive pronoun and the rest of the sentence. For example, ich dusche mich morgens. I shower myself in the mornings. But we can also form questions, in which case we would start with the reflexive verb, followed by the subject, then the accusative reflexive pronoun, and then the rest of the sentence. For example, duschst du dich morgens? Do you shower yourself in the mornings? Here are some more Beispiele of sentences using reflexive verbs that use the direct object. Sich verspäten, to be late or to get oneself late. Ich habe mich schon wieder verspätet. I've gotten myself late again, or I'm late again. Sich melden, to register. Melde dich beim Einwohnermeldeamt. Register with the registration office. Sich erinnern, to remember. Erinnerst du dich an den Termin? Do you remember the appointment? Sich hinlegen, to lay down or to lay oneself down. Ich muss mich sofort hinlegen. I need to lay down immediately. Sich verlaufen, to get oneself lost. Ich habe mich verlaufen. I have gotten myself lost. Sich erkälten, to catch a cold. Sie hat sich gestern erkältet. She has caught a cold yesterday. Sich freuen auf, to look forward to. Wir freuen uns sehr auf deinen Besuch. We're looking forward to your visit very much. Sich interessieren für, to be interested in. Interessiert ihr euch für Mathe? Are you interested in math? Let's practice. Üben wir. Look at the following two sentences and pictures and try to choose the correct reflexive pronoun in the accusative case. The verbs we are using is sich umziehen, to change, as in to change one's clothing, and sich entspannen, to relax. Sollen wir vor der Party umziehen? The subject is wir, so the accusative reflexive pronoun is uns. Sollen wir uns vor der Party umziehen? Should we change before the party? Ich habe am Strand endlich entspannt. The subject is ich, so the accusative reflexive pronoun is mich. Ich habe mich am Strand endlich entspannt. I have finally relaxed at the beach. And how about these two examples? Try to identify the subject of the sentence and the correct accusative reflexive pronoun. Hast du je schwer verletzt? The subject is du, so the correct sentence is Hast du dich je schwer verletzt? Have you ever injured yourself badly? Er duscht jeden Tag. The subject is er, so the correct sentence is Er duscht sich jeden Tag. He showers every day, or he showers himself every day. And how about these two examples? Sie setzt an den Tisch. Now the reflexive accusative pronoun for sie is always sich, but based on the conjugation of setzen, which is setzt, we know that this sentence can only mean she. She sits herself down at the table. And how about this example? Ich habe in sie verliebt. Ich is the subject, so the correct sentence is Ich habe mich in sie verliebt. I have fallen in love with her, or I have fallen myself in love with her.
Vielen Dank fürs Zusehen. I hope you now have a better understanding of how to use reflexive verbs with the direct object in German. As always, if you have more questions, feel free to comment, or if you're interested in joining one of our German courses with a live instructor, feel free to message us directly. Das war's, vielen Dank und bis zum nächsten Mal.